My friend is only taking advantage of my friendship, making me sad.
Stop.
Stop it. Direct sub. Hello, my name is Ria, female, and this involves a friend named Eva, 26, female. I met Eva a few months ago in late August. We met through a mutual ex. Eva and I got very close super quickly. And by the way, this comes from u-lonelybone at 11. If you want to submit your own stories, go to our OKstorytime subreddit. So we are both into art. We both paint and make jewelry together. My friend and I often sell at various vendor events around town. We even have an art show coming up where we will both have some art pieces on display. When I first met her, she had no job, drank too much, and smoked too much. So much that she embarrassed herself at this vendor event where we helped this band sell merch. I was also embarrassed. I did have a conversation with her the next day to tell her that things needed to change or else our friendship could no longer be. In the upcoming weeks, she changed a lot, at least in front of me. She didn't drink like I would see her in the past. She became a little more responsible with our vendor events. However, she was still very forgetful and still smoked a lot, but that's on her. Usually, for our events, I am the one who drives us, and if I happen to get hungry, I also have to buy her food because she doesn't have any money to get her own. We usually do share a table, but I usually have more of my stuff set up because she doesn't really create too much art like she used to before I knew her. She seems to start something and then leave it there and begin on something else. So she is constantly just reselling her old merchandise that hasn't sold. I do like having her as a friend because she is the first person that I actually got along with really well in regards to having things in common such as music, art, and creating. I've allowed her to come spend the night at my house when it is near an event so that we could plan what we're taking and create a few pieces before going. We recently signed up for an artist event where we have to draw something original and it would be up for sale. I got my art in time, but she did not, and she was going to drop it off on the very last date that it would be accepted. I did try to make sure that she would take it on time. However, I never heard back from her on that subject to see if she ended up submitting it or not. Recently, she just got into a relationship with her friend from some years ago. Ever since then, which hasn't been very long, maybe 2 weeks or so, she's been ignoring my text messages. To clarify, these aren't text messages on catching up or silly questions. Not saying that asking how someone is doing is silly, I just don't know how to word it. However, I've been texting her to see if art was submitted for the art show since I probably had to drive her there because she may not have a ride. I also want to be very supportive if she happens to have her art on display. But ever since she got in a relationship, she actually doesn't text me back at all. If she does, it will be the day of an event, maybe hours leading to it. Honestly, it makes me sad because growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I'm 30 now. I am actually making up for my teenage years now, as honestly, I didn't even have teenage years as a normal teenager growing up. I was just always bullied, and I feel like I never really fit in anywhere. I was also uber poor. Things got a little better in my late 20s. So now that I feel like I have a true connection with a friend, all I ask for is basic communication. I currently do have 2 best friends, both male, about the same age as me. However, it's not the same. They don't really like crafting the way I do, like painting and designing and things. I love them, but we do other things apart that we also enjoy. As for my friend Eva, I've been very nice to her. Even though I haven't known her that long, it's been a little under a year. She's always coming to my house, and we usually have a good time watching movies and crafting. Of course, we also go out and sometimes more due to our vendor events. Since I've known her, she has a lot of boys who are friends. We went out one time, and my priority was to bring her home because she doesn't live with her mom. Gosh forbid something happened and her mom would come after me. Again, yes, we are adults, but again, she doesn't have a car and she doesn't have a job.
What? You're both adults, but she doesn't have a car. She doesn't have a job. She doesn't pay for anything, so she doesn't have money. What does she have?
It seems like because, and then this is not dissing you at all, because unfortunately you've had, a childhood without many friends, without the relationships that feel good, that you're making up and kind of like taking on so much responsibility of this friendship where you're kind of taking on her mom, like a mother role.
Yeah,
it seems like
it says,
there's a meshment of like having so much responsibility of everything this human does.
Even saying like, oh, her mom will come after me. So you're taking on that role. Yeah. No, and also I think going into the point of, oh, didn't have a lot of friends growing up, I think sometimes when that happens, you have this feeling like if you don't stay with this one friend, you're never going to get another friend. And it's just knowing like you will. Yes, there are better friends out there than this girl.
Someone that could show you the basic
has money
respect,
in a car and job.
show you the basic respect of a friend, which is just responding back to you and, basic communication and not making you feel like you have to take care of everything she does. So yes, we are adults, but again, she doesn't have a car and she doesn't have a job. So if she's in danger, technically, I was the last person that she would have been with. I found out that she wanted us to leave her at a random coffee shop because she wanted to hook up with a guy afterward. That really irritated me because I felt like she wasn't watching out for her own safety or anything like that. She recently, like I mentioned, got into a relationship about 2 weeks ago. The other person doesn't know anything about her previous men in her life. This guy seems like a really great guy, and I have no problems with him. He is a little shy, so I haven't gotten to know him too well. Thing is, now she is just not answering my messages when it's about our art show this Friday. I just had to know if she submitted anything or not, because she and I are actually trying to save up to move to another state for at least 3 months and our art. So
don't move with her.
This current relationship, she's not showing up to, and it seems like any way you're wanting her to, and now you're trying to expand on the relationship.
Stop.
Live with her for
and also
3 months in another state.
How is she saving up? She doesn't have a job.
Well, all the art she's selling. However, I just feel like I'm putting more effort into this than she is. But I'm always trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Stop giving her the benefit of the doubt.
Because as I mentioned, I do really enjoy her company. Just because you enjoy someone's company doesn't mean that you can't voice your frustration and that your feelings aren't valid, and that if your needs aren't being met in a friendship, that you have no right to voice them. You have every right to voice them.
And you'd probably enjoy her company a lot more if you didn't have to pay for her.
Another thing is, whenever she needs something, it's like she expects a quick reply from me. I'm not going to lie, I do feel lonely at times, and her messaging me back has nothing to do with how I feel about that. But it does kind of break me a little because it makes me feel like I'm not really worthy of having anything good in my life at times, like friendship or love. I'm never the girl that a guy will look at just because she's pretty. It's usually always the other way around. Not to hate, I promise that's not what I'm trying to do, but at our vendor events, my friends is always getting hit on. And like I mentioned before, I never really had many friends, so I tend to get my hopes up with people, and I try to always see the good in people. I just truly hope I'm not being used just for car rides or to pay for the vendor fee at our vendor events. So am I the a-hole for expecting my friend to message me back when it's about something important, such as our vendor events? Does it seem that I'm projecting my lonely feelings onto someone else? Yes, but in the case that you're not voicing your needs and voicing your frustration. That's how you're projecting it, not by actually voicing your need and frustration. Lately, she's only been messaging me the day of and sometimes last minute after ignoring me that whole entire week. This is not the first time that it's happened. It happened with our 2 previous vendor events. In maximum, I will only message her twice, once through personal phone and maybe the other on Instagram. And not only are we available on Instagram, but we're available on full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK.
Do it.
So there's another relevant update, but let's discuss.
I think OP is just knowing that there's going to be a lot of other people out there who are going to be so much better than this girl. I do think that she is trying to take advantage of you. Whether that's conscious or not, she is.
I think that's fair. Whether it's conscious or not, she is, because you're
spending money on her.
Yeah, you're putting a lot, or just you're putting so much energy and time into this relationship, and it's not being reciprocated.
Exactly.
I think a simple conversation could be like, hey, I'm noticing it's taking, a whole week to respond to, and also that, I'm paying for things and I'm like taking care of you for different things. I'm feeling, pretty like kind of, you don't have to say taken advantage of. It's a little blaming, but you could feel like I'm feeling like frustrated and upset, and I'm wanting to have like a reciprocal relationship with you. What's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Like bring some curiosity. I think like voicing it like that, it would be great. I don't like being very pushy because I do believe that she's also a grown adult and needs to take care of her business and not just have someone else remind her or take care of it for her. In regards to the friendship, what should I do? I like her a lot, but feel she's not as responsible as she should be. You should have a conversation like I just said.
Yeah, we already answered your question. But I wish you all the best, and I hope that conversation goes well.
Look, and also, it seems like you have a lot of belonging wounds, and I could relate. And I think when those wounds show up, it's like when there is connection, there's like this grasping. Oh, in my past, when I didn't have, relationships that felt good, there's like our biology craves human connection so much so that it's willing to suppress our own expression or suppress our own emotions when we have that, and to kind of like take way less than we deserve. And it seems like that's happening here. So again, Sophia pointed out greatly that there are other people out there, and that there are people that could provide a safe connection that feels good, that feels nourishing, that can feel reciprocal.
But that is the end of that story and the end of the episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.